we can regain consciousness of our past, particularly past life, but past obviously as well, through our shadow. And you may be wondering, how did we regain consciousness of that, and why do we have our shadow in the first place, and all of that. And I'm gonna go with the flow. So what I was asking was, I was asking first about whether the shadow is just an earthly thing, or what is it? And obviously it's not just an earthly thing. We all have light and shadow, and we come here and we agree to certain things in life before we come here to trigger our shadows, to trigger lessons and growth, because we come to learn, we come to elevate, we come to grow. And I was focusing on the shadow first, and we all have the light and just the shadow as well, and the shadow serves its purpose in life as well. It's just as important as the light, and it's more so of like what is hidden, what you had to do to adapt to certain situations. And these certain situations can be repeats of past life that you haven't delved into, you haven't sorted in the past life, that's carrying into the now. Maybe it's something that you got comfortable with feeling in another life, and you accepted your fate and was like, okay, I accept this, I'm not going to change, I'm stuck in this way, and etc., etc. And then we pass away, we look back at life and we're like, oh, I see what I did wrong, I see how I could have handled that differently, I see how my life was really controlled by my fears, and I see how life was really controlled by other people, or how other people's narratives about myself really got in the way of what I did in my life, and I can't repeat that again. And we come back into a new life, and this is just an example, by the way, and we have these situations, we have these parents, we have these siblings, or whichever people around us that trigger the same thing. So they project their narratives onto us that holds us back, and we are re-experiencing the same thing again in order for us to integrate, to learn what we acknowledged while we passed away, to try shift that, to try to elevate our soul and to reach for our higher purpose without fear and without losing sight of who we are. And stepping into our power without other people's guilt tripping or etc. onto us. And we accepted to come into this life to re-experience these same triggers that trigger these same shadows of feeling not good enough, unworthiness, beliefs. But shadow is also adapted mechanisms like how maybe in certain lives you had to defend yourself. You had to become hardened, and maybe you passed away being in that hardened state, and you became more functioning in your shadow side than your light, the part of us that adapts to situations. And then you come into this life with that same shadow being triggered by certain situations outside of you to properly integrate this shadow, which maybe in the past life was defensive, but also attacking others, let's say. And maybe you need to integrate it in a way where you choose what's right for you, you protect yourself, but you don't attack everyone who comes at you. And that isn't a bad thing. We adapt in ways to protect ourselves. Our light can get hardened by people and situations, and etc., etc. And you know, like a dog who bites a hand who's trying to feed them, a dog who has been hurt and betrayed and abused, and that's the same with that person, you know. So we come into this life with these contracts and agreements to help us elevate and grow, and sometimes these contracts and agreements no longer serve us because we feel we have grown and we have adapted to these changes. There's no need to keep repeating what we learned, right? So we burn these contracts, we release them, we let them go. We talk to Source, and we say, Source, I am done with this soul contract that is leaving me depleted while other people feed on that and elevate upwards. I am done with this narrative. I am done with it because I know that I need to take care of myself and I need to elevate me and not put others above myself, like in past lives. And we can really understand who we were in past lives as well through looking at our shadow, because I was focusing on shadow, right? And like, say there was a warrior, right? You were a warrior in your past life. You have a thirst for blood, and you understood that you would put your life for what you were defending, and you come into this life and you have the same feelings and beliefs, and you may be unsure why you have these same feelings and beliefs. Maybe you're just living an average life, but you feel this kind of draw and pull to acting in certain ways, and maybe even pulled to like martial arts and all of that, and learning things. Like, these are all factors and pulls to your soul and who you were in a past life, part of what your soul has grown and learned and adapted into life generally. And we get pulled to these things because they're indicators of what our soul knows and what our soul is here to do, or what our soul wants to do. But we do have to adapt in certain ways to keep elevating ourselves, right? So you could get pulled into these things, but learn a new way of doing it and a new respect for people. Like, I know in martial arts, there's a respect with who you're fighting. It's not, well, not for everyone, but there is a lot of respect with people in martial arts that they have with each other and who they're fighting. and maybe you have a draw to martial arts to be able to come to that senses of having respect for people and people that you're fighting. Maybe in a past life you didn't, and then you learn that there. You see how interesting it is? And whoa, I'm just getting so much information. And yeah, the same way with the light and how the light can show us who we were. Like the obvious one is like healers, right? They're light, they get attracted to things, they get attracted to helping people, nurturing people, being there for people. In a past life, you could have been a healer, and you are aware of how these modalities and how they shift for different types of people, because different things work for different people, and you are aware because your soul has learned in past lives through purpose, through to elevation, that they know this within themselves. And these people come with an inner knowing. They didn't have to learn it. It's already integrated into them. And obviously, in other lives, they had to learn it. So this isn't to downplay people who are learning about it, because we actually all learn things. But I'm talking about particular things where you just know what to do. You just have an inner knowing. You know that certain plants will help you or other people. You have an inner knowing of how to make things that you were not teaching yourself, but you just feel, okay, that will work well with this, and this will help me in this way. And you know how to guide others and be there for others, because in past lives you may have been there for other people and guided them through situations, and you were aware of how much possibilities there are for different people, different perspectives. There is a whole range of things, not just one way in the highway. There's a whole range. And certain people have a connection to source because in past life they have built a respectable relationship with source and other divine beings, and it carries on to this life, and these beings follow them and guide them because they remember their soul, and they help them because in a lifetime they were a healer, and they earned respect from spirit, and that's why spirit works with them today. And whoa, that is more than I thought I would say. But yeah, there are so many different things, and it's interesting. I'm just feeling the energies of like other types of people, but I can't describe it in words. Like there's very analytical people who are very mathematical and observe life's patterns in different ways, and they've come here for a different purpose as well. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I can't describe that into words what I'm getting, but yeah, this is my little channeling, if you will. This is all just information that I know inside of me, so I'm sharing what I know. I didn't learn this from people, it's just an inner knowing. So yeah, Let me know your thoughts, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Ciao.